LG 110 field target. Converting to an external velocity adjuster, only for the LG 110 16 dual model. We are demonstrating this conversion on an LG 110 Connect model, but naturally this change is also possible on a non-Connect model. You will see here a new hammer spring, and this external velocity screw. In order to change to this external velocity adjuster, you will need this updated stock cover. As you can see, it has a cutout for the velocity screw. With this conversion, you will also, at the same time, need to update the pressure reducing valve from a 100 bar version to an 85 bar version. With this pin, you can externally adjust the velocity. This small plastic plug is needed as part of the conversion in order that the velocity screw is clamped in position but is still able to rotate. Begin by dismounting the grip. Remove the 4mm Allen screw, after which you can remove the grip and the angle adjusting disc that sits underneath. Through pushing out this 3mm pin, the grip rod pin and the safety washer can also be removed. Underneath, a 4mm Allen screw is now visible, which also needs to be completely removed. Removing the remaining 2mm Allen screw found in this forward area allows the stock cover to be lifted and taken off by sliding it backwards. Next, this 2.5mm screw is opened, only opened, not removed, after which this complete part is removed. In the rear area of the housing, you will find a 3mm pin which needs to be pushed out from the side. Thereafter, unscrew and completely remove both of these 3mm screws. Turning the weapon now. Remove the sealing washer located in this forward area using a 4mm Allen key. Finally, the complete system can be withdrawn by pulling this from the rear of the weapon. The bolt and bolt lever are placed to one side and you hold only the trigger housing in your hands. The conversion to an external velocity adjuster is only possible with the LG 110 model. This 1.5mm Allen screw is the next to be removed. The old design of velocity screw is unscrewed and removed along with the pressure spring which appears underneath. In the forward area, this STEYR catch link needs to be removed. Ease the Starlock washer forward on the pin and then using 2 screwdrivers completely take off the washer. The STEYR catch link can then be lifted off the pin. Be careful, because on the STEYR catch link you will find a small spring which is used to hold the part in place. Remove the spring and place it back on the STEYR catch link for safekeeping. The striker is now free, and by pushing down on the bar, this releases the striker and allows it to drop out. Here we can see the difference between the old and new striker. The spring sits upon the old striker, but in the case of the new one, it sits inside the striker. The new striker is inserted into the housing. Lift and slide to one side the bar in front of the cam to allow the striker to be easily slid fully into position. The new long velocity pressure spring is inserted and the external velocity adjuster is screwed into place. Next, insert this plastic plug into the hole and using the screw Secure everything in place. The plastic plug allows the rotation of the velocity adjustment screw using this pin provided. As part of the conversion, the pressure reducing valve must be changed from 100 to 85 bar. Through removing these 4 screws, the pressure reducing valve can be dismounted. Do not open these 2 screws, they hold the valve together. The new valve is held in place using these 4 screws. Tighten the screws in a diagonal manner. Next, the STEYR catch link is reinstalled. It is important that the spring is placed in the correct position. Place the STEYR catch link upon the pin in the housing. Apply a little pressure to the front of the STEYR catch link and carefully push it into place. Lastly, it will be necessary to cock the trigger so that the complete part can be moved. The spring can at the same time always be adjusted if needed. The STEYR lock washer must now be placed back upon the pin and pressed into place. The washer should not sit fully upon the STEYR catch link. A small amount of play should be present so that this trigger part is free to move. Now we combine the complete housing with the remaining parts. The bolt is combined with the cocking lever, and gripping both parts together, place these upon the housing. The cocking lever is anchored in place here. The bolt, together with the cocking lever and the housing, is reinserted back into the weapon. In doing so, make sure that the cocking lever has not jumped off its anchoring point. There is play in the housing when installing the bolt. Reinsert both of these 3mm Allen screws. At this point, firstly tighten just one screw and check the functioning of the bolt. Should the pressure be too great, loosen the screw and move the housing a little further back. If the pressure is too light, move the housing forward a little. Here the bolt is now adjusted too tightly. Move the housing slightly backwards. The bolt should be light to close, but at the same time a certain amount of effort should be needed to open it. With the bolt and the closing pressure correctly adjusted, tighten the second screw to hold everything in place. The sealing washer is now reinstalled, remembering that the hole is slightly tilted. Only light pressure needs to be used when tightening the washer. The bolt cover is inserted so that it is flush with the housing. And with the pin, it is held in place. Here once again is the external screw for adjusting the velocity. Next, the new stock cover with the cutout for the velocity screw. This is installed from the rear and secured in place with the screw. Next, the grip mounting is put in place and fastened with the screws. With it, a rigid linkage is created in this rear area. There is a small amount of grease on the grip rod so that the STEYR lock washer is held in place. The pin is pushed in. The grip angle adjusting disc is put back in place and the grip remounted. It is now possible to adjust the velocity externally, turning in a clockwise direction increases the velocity, whereas turning in an anti-clockwise direction reduces the velocity.